All right. So I have one little game for us. It's a very simple game. And I've looked at like the notes I made, and you guys are going to guess all these really easily. It's a guess the oil game. So it's like, what oil am I? Okay. Are you ready for the first one? And you're going to,
Yes.
do you guys know how to raise your hands in the little things? Or should we have you, whoever types it in the chat first? Which is better? What do you think, Sherry? You're
I
like,
would do the raise hand.
raise hand. Okay. Do you know where to raise your hand in Zoom?
Everyone see the reaction button down at the bottom?
Oh, yeah. So you look at the bottom of your, oh, but if you're on your phone, will you see it? I think Joyce is on her phone.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
I don't think it'll
All right,
work on
guys,
either.
there's not that many of us.
I was like, just raise your hand.
in person.
Like this, right?
Do this. How about you read your clues? I'll pick whose hand
You're
goes up.
yes, perfect. All right, you guys ready?
Watching.
Yes.
All right, first oil. I come from the mint family of plants, but you would never know it from my aroma.
As for me.
I've been used for centuries. King Tut had a 10-gallon container of me buried alongside him.
Hand on, Wendy. Can Wendy play?
Wendy, no.
My uses are many, from giving you beautiful skin and hair to calming frazzled nerves.
Joyce.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess rosemary, but I know I'm not right.
That's not it, but that's a fantastic guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here is kind of the one that's going to be the clincher, so get your hands ready. My aroma is very polarizing and sometimes associated with the 70s or 60s.
Chili oil. Oops, sorry.
You get it, Joyce.
Now, yeah, I love that it was it's part of that mint family. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And there's Vanessa holding it.
I didn't know you were talking about the same oil, all those clues.
Awesome. Joyce, I've got a bottle of oregano for you.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I need a bottle of that. I do. I'm out.
I have to write a note down though, or I'll
So
forget that.
King Tut had patchouli next to him, huh? I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple more. I'll go through them quickly. All right. All right. I feel like this is an easy one. I'm grown on a young living farm in Ecuador. I'm distilled from the flower of a tropical tree, and the tree can grow to 40 feet tall. I'm often used in perfumes.
Go ahead, keep going.
I am often used in perfumes, and my aroma is known as a heart note because in a perfume blend, my scent emerges just as the top notes begin to dissipate. What oil am I?
In my hand. Joyce.
I'm gonna stab at ylang ylang.
You got it.
I was like, I'm holding it.
That's what I was gonna be like. Here it comes. There it is.
All right. I've got one more for you guys. I come in both regular and vitality bottles, so you can use me all the ways. I pair well with and balance out floral oils and blends. Some people like to add a drop of me to their toothpaste for extra tooth brightening power. What oil am I? Diana. Oh, you're muted.
Diana.
Oh, lemon.
Oh, close. Not quite.
Okay.
Joyce.
I'm gonna say orange.
You got it.
Oh. I'm glad she said lemon first because I was thinking lemon maybe too.
Yeah, orange is always my go-to. If I don't like the smell of something, I add a drop of orange and it makes it lovely.
Right?
Okay, this is the last one.
You already
And
said that.
to get this one with the first clue, okay? Well, you might not, but you probably will. It takes 22 pounds of flower petals to make one 5 ml bottle of me. Diana.
Rose.
You got it. Awesome. I've got a bottle of energy for you, Diana.
Ooh, that's a lovely
Oh,
bottle.
thank you.
I know you did. Sage totally heard you say that, Stacy, from far away, and she yells in the background. She's like, Rose.
Nice. All right. Thanks for playing along, ladies. That was fun. We have got a handful of DIYs to run through with you tonight. And before we get started, I think you all know our lovely co-host tonight. But for anyone who's watching the replay, sharing tonight some great recipes and DIYs is Sherry Placco, Wendy Chapman, and Vanessa Yultson. Is that how you say your name? Yeah.
Not bad, Olson.
Olson. Okay, Olson. Thank you for correcting it because you don't want me to say that the rest of your life. And you are all in for a treat because of these ladies. I am the only one who is not a teacher. So these ladies really are very good at telling you what to do and how to do it.
That's so funny. I just thought about that. So she is more rested than we are, is what she's really saying. She's probably getting a little bit more sleep than the three of us right now.
I have a puppy that's had diarrhea
This is
for a week. So
Ew.
no, we just got her some meds. It's
After
good.
the sock
Aw.
incident.
Yes, it was after the sock incident.
You know, you need to
Aw.
talk to my sister. She wants to get a puppy again.
It's a lot of work. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's a lot of time. So Sherry, why don't you take over and walk us through the first goodie we've got.
All right. So we're going to make a woodsy aftershave. Now, my husband is not really big on aftershaves, but I've told him I'm making this tonight, so he has said he will try it. Now, we asked you to have a 4-ounce bottle, but to be honest, I'm going to make mine in a 2-ounce bottle because I don't want to waste a lot of oils if he ends up not using it. So this recipe that Stacey's going to share with you is super flexible. If you're doing a 2-ounce bottle instead of a 4-ounce, just cut everything in half. There's no wrong way to do it. Okay. The big things that you need are your witch hazel. So it's going to be like our toner, very similar to that toner if you were on our last make and take class. You need vitamin E. I just got this on Amazon because obviously we want to moisturize the skin. And then some oils that you can use. In the recipe she's going to share with you, it calls for mister, and I'll talk about that in a moment, and cedarwood and lavender. Now, mister is something, if you notice our bottle, it's got the roller. My husband actually uses mister every day for hormonal support. He rolls it right above his like pelvic bone. And he can also roll it on his ankles, like I would roll my lady scleral on my inner ankles, right under the bone. So we're not going to use this because it's actually, he just told me this morning, it's almost empty. But I want you to know about mister. So mister is a blend that includes sage, fennel, lavender, myrtle, and peppermint and yarrow. And all of those things are really great to promote men's hormonal balance. So that's why this has a roller top on it. Now, we are a fan of the trees, if you ever have heard me talk ever. So I'm actually mixing mine up a little bit. We are going to use cypress in place of mister. And then we also have to add a little of our Idaho blue spruce. Those are favorites in our house. We are going to do cedarwood, which is what will be in your recipe. And I'm going to do a little bit of lavender, but not as much because he's not a fan of the smell of lavender. I guess that's why we get along so well. But lavender is so important for your skin. It's such a great oil to use on your skin. So I really want to have it in there. But that's why I'm going to add a couple of drops of the Idaho blue spruce. So here's what we're going to do. Start with your empty 2-ounce bottle. And you are going to use, if you're only doing a 2-ounce bottle, between 10 and 15 drops of vitamin E. If you're using the big bottle, like 15 to 20, like there's no, you're going to experiment with this. There's no wrong way to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to add my vitamin E in here. Can you see? Sorry. Okay, so vitamin E in. Now you want to use the most of the oils, the largest quantity of drops. In the recipe, it calls for mister. So I'm going to substitute that with cypress. Okay. So in a 4-ounce bottle, it calls for 15. So I'm going to cut that in half. I'm going to do about 8 drops of cypress. We love the trees. This is actually something that I make a roller with as well. It's great for circulation. It just smells wonderful. So I've got my cypress in there. Cedar wood, it calls for 10 drops of the large bottle. So I'm going to do 5 because again, I'm making the smaller size. So I'm going to do 5 drops of cedar wood. So glad I got my new bottle with my Aria because the one next to my diffuser in my bedroom is almost empty. And 5 drops of lavender. Now I'm probably only going to add 3 because I don't want that lavender smell to take over, but I want him to get that nourishing for the skin. So I'm going to add 3 drops of lavender. And then to make up that little difference of those 2 drops, I'm going to do the Idaho blue spruce. So notice how I'm mixing it up. There's no set rule to how to do this. Other great oils, if you know the man in your life likes Valor, use Valor instead of the cypress or mister. Maybe some geranium, which is also really great for their skin. So there's, just really like ask them what smells they're drawn to and you can use those. So I've got my oils in here with the vitamin E. Now I'm just going to top it off all with witch hazel. That's it, guys. So easy. It's going to be very similar to that facial toner that we made in the DIY. They're going to spray this in their hand and then just pat it on their face, just like we do with our toners that we made. Except the vitamin E is in here to give them that extra moisturizing after they shave. So you just top the rest of it off with your witch hazel, gently mix it. I just kind of flip it over once I put the spray top on, and you're good to go. So I will report back because he told me he will use it. But he's a guy that only shaves once a week anyway. He's like not that guy who shaves every day. Ryan, I'm sure, shaves every day. So I will be interested to hear that. My husband just shaves when he's like, oh, I'm looking a little scruffy. I think I should go shave. But easy peasy. So if you're not sure if they're going to like it, maybe start with that 2-ounce bottle so you can experiment with the oils. But I'm like super excited for him to try this. Anyone have any questions or wondering about oils? If you think it would work?
Put in there, Sherry.
I chose to put in mine. I did cypress, cedarwood, lavender, and then I added 2 drops of Idaho blue spruce. Just because that's one of our favorite oils around here. Again, if you only have lavender and cedarwood, use that. If you only have cypress and lavender, go ahead with that. There's, again, no wrong combination. You're going to want to experiment to find the one that you like best. That's why I love these essential oils. We can customize it and change it up the next time you do it. Okay. Yeah, so many great skin loving oils.
I love that. Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Next up, Vanessa is going to share 2 recipes with us.
Took me a second to unmute. All right. So yeah, I've got a couple of DIY recipes too. I love to play around with the oils, kind of like Sherry was saying. Some of the things that I like on their own and that I like to be able to put together. So when Stacy sent us some of the recipes, I was like, ooh, I like that. Oh, that's a lot like what I do, but with a twist. So I'm going to stick to her recipes a little bit. And the first one we're going to do is a linen spray. Okay, so I also have a 2-ounce spray bottle, and that just like Sherry's. And that Sherry teases me sometimes about using my blue glass instead of the amber glass, and that I just like the way the blue looks. And so I'll order the blue ones instead of the amber glass. So we're gonna do a linen spray in here. These are great. Yeah, see, right. See, and you gave me a hard time, Sherry, about buying the blue because it was more expensive than the amber. Right, I like the blue. Okay, right, yeah, see, give me a hard time, and now she's got blue bottles. Linen sprays are great. again, obviously for like your sheets, also a little spritz on your pillow. So we're going to be using a couple oils in here that I actually like for sleep. And that, so I will be using this on my pillow as well as on my linens. Okay. It's a similar recipe to Sherry's in that, except instead of using like the vitamin E, and that I will be using instead, I'm going to be using a little bit of water in here and that for my spray. Okay. Oils and water traditionally, right? Like I tell people all the time, like I'm a science teacher, and one of the basics, in science is oil and water don't mix or combine. So we do need to add something in there to help them along so that they will combine and so that they will blend together a little bit better. I have my witch hazel, and that a splash of that is going to do the job. If you don't have witch hazel around, and that, like, I keep mine around mostly for like my DIY stuff with my oils and that, but if it's not something you have at home, and that a few grains of like kosher salt in here will do the same job. Okay. And that, so don't worry, if you're like, oh, I can't make it, I don't have witch hazel. If you've got a little salt, will do the same job for you. Okay, so I'm going to add my oils first, and then I'm going to do, oh, right, yeah, see there's Stacy, yep, a little vodka in there too will also do the same job. Good thinking. All right, so I'm going to put my oils in here first for my linen spray, and that we're going to start with 3 of my favorites. So unlike Sherry, who is not a big lavender fan, I love, 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 love my lavender, and that, so I'm going to tend to go a little bit heavier on the lavender, and that than I would, some of the others. Okay, so I am going to, all right, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I just looked at the list of oils and I didn't look at like the proportions that Stacy went in there, so I'm kind of winging it. Okay, there you go. All right, so I'm
I
going to do in my.
didn't give you proportions.
Oh,
I
you
just
didn't?
gave you oils. Yeah. So I said, just
fantastic,
do what
right.
you like.
Right, even better. Right here, I was like, oh, God, I didn't even look. All right, so in a 2-ounce bottle, I'm probably going to go with a total of between 20 and 25 drops total in here. And that I tend to go a little bit on the heavier side, and that because I really like it to like smell strongly. If that's a little strong for you, like Sherry said, there's no wrong way to do this. Feel free to back that off a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do about 10 drops of lavender. So I'm going to have like a good, almost half of mine with lavender. Try to count. Okay, all right. So lavender, another floral in here that like I have totally come to just absolutely adore over the last couple of years. I love ylang ylang. Like it's like just like that tropical kind of exotic floral kind of thing that, right, like takes me someplace tropical, even if I can't be someplace tropical. And it really pairs nice with the lavender, and that the two work so well together. So I'm going to do about 4 or 5 drops of ylang ylang. Okay. Now I thought I was being all kinds of like slick and creative because I was using like in my diffuser and stuff, I would do the lavender, the ylang ylang, and then I would throw in a little bit of orange just to kind of brighten it up a little bit. I thought, like I said, I thought I was all innovative and creative. And then I was starting to look through more and more of like the groups, and everyone was like, oh, lavender, orange, and ylang ylang. I was like, okay, or not, right? Like, great minds think alike. And that, so a little bit of orange, and that we might not necessarily think orange for sleep because it is a brighter, sunnier oil, but it does do a nice job of kind of evening out the florals that you have in here. So I'm going to do like 3 drops of orange. Okay. Like you said, just to kind of, accent the florals and that kind of even them out a little bit so it doesn't like whack you upside the face floral. Okay. Now, the one that was in the recipe that Stacy gave me that I haven't used before, but I'm going to throw in here and give it a shot, right, is patchouli. And that I had to actually go find my bottle of patchouli. So I've had one for a while, I know, and I have not been real good about using it. So I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to try it in here with my lavender, orange, and ylang ylang, which, I know I love. So patchouli is great because it's got a little bit of kind of that earthy and that kind of aroma to it. That's a little bit too, cedarwood. Sherry was talking about putting cedarwood in her diffuser at night, and that I'm also a big fan of cedarwood in my diffuser, lavender and cedarwood, and then like I might throw a couple other things in there too. But right now that I have my bottle of patchouli out, and that I might throw that in my diffuser tonight for sleep. So just a little bit of like that earthy kind of groundedness to it. So I'm gonna do about 2 or 3 drops of patchouli in here. And that it is a little bit of a thicker oil, so it's probably going to take a second to decide it wants to come out. And that, yep, there we go. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it is a thicker oil. Okay, so my oils are in there. I'm going to add my witch hazel next, and that just to kind of get that going in there first, and then I will add my water. And that, so I have my bottle of witch hazel for something like this. So with the aftershave and that kind of spray, and that you're using a lot of it because you're using it directly on your skin. In this case, we're just using it to help the oils in the water mix. And that's so I literally need like a spritz. Okay, just enough to kind of help things mix and blend. Okay, and that again, a little more, a little less, not a big deal. Okay. And then I'm going to top the rest of it off with water. I went to grab my jug of distilled water today and realized, and that thank goodness I had it sitting on something, that I had a split in it. So well, usually I have my jug of distilled water. Yeah, Joyce, did you have a question, hon? Oh, you're muted, hon.
All right, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
That was the lavender. I didn't catch anything after that. If you could
Sure,
just
no
look-
problem. So
Sorry.
we've got, no worries, no worries. And that we've got lavender, and then I did a few drops of ylang ylang.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think it was,
Yeah.
was it Joy that you guys said that we could replace with the?
Yeah, you could use joy in place of it. You can use geranium and that in place of the ylang ylang I've used before too. You've got a couple options for sure.
And how many of Joy did you put in?
I do about maybe 4 or 5. And that,
Okay.
like I said, I tend to go heavy on the lavender because I really like the lavender. And that, so then the other things kind of just accent it then. And then after the ylang ylang, I put about 2 or 3 drops of orange in there to kind of balance out some of the florals. And that, and you've got a little bit of orange in Joy too. And that's so totally up to you how much you want to use there.
Okay.
And then about 2 or 3 drops of patchouli.
Ooh. Okay, got it. And then the.
All right. Yep, little spritz of witch hazel, and then I'm going to very carefully, kind of with my bottle that I filled up. Right, like I said, I would usually use distilled water, but since my jug had a leak, and that I kind of filled this up with some tap water. Okay, but I would usually use distilled water, especially if I'm going to have it around for a while. And I'm going to, yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to fill that up.
Oh, I get alkaline water. I think I ran out of distilled water. Hopefully that's okay.
Right, I tend to overfill, so right, there's a little bit of a spillage there. Okay. All right, and then I have just my little spray topper, and that will go on here. Right, can also spill over a little bit, but that's okay. All right, and then there's my little, and that just 2-ounce bottle of linen spray, and that every time you use it, and that because it will separate a little bit, and that just give it a little bit of a shake, and that before you use it, and that, yeah, and right, spray that all over the place. Use it on your linens, right? We were talking about diffusers in the bathroom, you know, right? Like if your diffuser is in the bathroom, go ahead and grab this and spray a little bit of this in your bathroom, and that anywhere where you want it to smell really nice, and that this is, you know, a great way to do it. You know, and like Sherry said, if there are things in here that, you know, you like more or don't like as much, switch this up. However, this is more a method than it is a you must do it this way. And that, so
Great.
pardon, right? Doesn't that smell nice?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I would like it with the patchouli, but I do like it.
Yeah.
All right. The other one that I am doing with you guys tonight is a roller. And that, so I have a 10 ml roller, and that right here, an empty one. Right there again, like I like to find the pretty ones online, and that I am a sucker for a pretty glass roller. So right, so I grabbed one of my pretty ones. I went with one that's got a little pink for Valentine's Day. So this one, and that is going to still kind of have that lavender and orange as a base, and that's, so again, 2 of my favorite. Okay, and we're going to mix a couple other, you know, we're going to bring a couple new friends to the party on this one. So in a 10 ml roller bottle, I would probably go total of about 10 drops of oil. Okay, right, or again, if it's me, and then I might go 12 to 15, because again, I tend to be a heavy dropper, so I usually tend to go a little bit over. But if you've got at least 10 drops of oil in here, you're good to go. Okay. All right, let me grab. All right. So again, we're going with our lavender. Right. And Sherry kind of mentioned this is like awesome as a skin loving oil, and that's so with our rollers, and that these are for topical use, and that for, you know, roll it on as a perfume, and that again with some of the stuff that's in here, I could totally see this as like a before bed kind of thing to help chill you out. When I use rollers, and that I'll usually use them behind my ears, and that along like my collarbone and my neck, and that tend to be for the most part where I put them, especially if I'm going to lay down, although I do like it by my wrist sometimes too. So with my lavender, I'm going to do about 4 drops. Yeah, about 4 drops of lavender. Okay, again, totally to your preference. Right? Sherry'd be like, you know, I'll put 1 in and call it good.
You know me too well, Vanessa.
I know, right? Yeah, right. Which is like I said, you know, it cracks me up. Right? You can hate on the lavender all you want. I got it covered. And
But
that,
I
all
know
right.
it's good for me. I
Right.
use it. I just
You
don't love
do.
the smell.
Agree, right? Which, right? You know, kudos to you for still realizing that it's good for you, right? Like, you know, we'll the rest of us, you know, we'll just revel in the smell of the lavender. Stinker. All right, so I'm gonna go like 2 drops of orange in here. Right. Again, nothing says bright and sunny like a little bit of orange. Okay. Then I'm going to do about 2 drops of peace and calming. Okay. And finally, I'm going to do 2 drops of frankincense. Right. And that, so, you know, Sherry talked about, you know, how like awesome lavender is like for your skin. Frankincense is amazing for your skin too. And that it's also super grounding. And that, so like when you've had one of those hectic frazzled days, and that a little bit of frankincense and that right on your wrists, occasionally my diffuser, but I love it on me. And that like, especially on my chest, right? So yeah, put more on my forehead. And that, so I'm going to do like 2 drops of frank in there too, right? Yeah, right. Lots of good stuff in there. Okay. And that, so once my oils are in there, and that I use your favorite carrier oil. I'm a fan of fractionated coconut oil, and that's what I tend to use most often. You know, right. Anything and that you like as far as carrier oils, and that pretty much anything goes. Sweet almond oil, rosehip oil, jojoba oil, and that whatever is your jam, and that by all means throw it in your roller. And that, so I'm going to give this a few pumps. And that's good. And that, leave yourself a little room at the top, because when you do put the roller ball top on it, and that does have a little bit of kind of a stem on it, and if you overfill it, when you put your stem in, you're going to kind of get overflow, and that, which, like, I don't know, for some reason I tend to do that all the time anyway. And that, so your roller ball top, and that goes right on top here. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of get it started. Oh, it popped in pretty well. If you are having a little bit of an issue, just make sure it's straight. Throw the cap on and just screw the cap down, and it will help push your roller ball down into place for you. Okay, and that's just kind of another little tip when you're making rollers. Okay, and right, and you know, give it just a little bit of a shake, and that right, and roll that right on. Oh yeah, that's really nice, and that really nice, and that, so yeah, so those are mine. Spray bottle and that linen spray, roller balls, lavender and orange are a couple of my favorites anyway. So right, like I was all over these.
That's awesome. Thank you, Vanessa, for walking us through that. Those are good combinations. Actually, it was Sherry who had that lovely combination that she shared. I kind of pulled them together from all over, but it's a good blend.
And really quick, before you go to the next one, update on the spray. So my husband came down and he smelled it and he was like, it needs more Idaho blue spruce. So he made me add more because again, that's the way we roll in our house. So he was like, no, I smell lavender and cedarwood and I don't want that on my face. Can you add more Idaho blue spruce? So really talk to your man about this. Let him, you know, experiment and have the choice. Okay, because you want them to use it. So I added more Idaho blue spruce. So just wanted to share.
That's awesome. I love that you can just make it, change it, whatever,
So easy.
blend your own stuff,
That's so funny. that you
modify it. So I wanted to share with you guys a diffuser balm blend. Have any of you made a diffuser balm before? Yeah. So I like it because it's a way that you can, pull the oils together that you love to put in your diffuser that you're always like carrying over to your diffuser, and you just put them all into one bottle. So you just have one bottle, you can park it next to your diffuser, and it just makes it easy. So I grabbed a empty 5 ml bottle and cap and reducer top, right? These are just reusing what I get all the time. Some I go through a lot of bottles. So some of my bottles I do just throw in the recycle bin, but a good amount of them I end up, cleaning and reusing. You could, if you want to get really fancy, you could reuse one of your CBD bottles, because these are super pretty when you take that label off, and the label comes off really easily. And then I just soak the bottle a little bit, clean out the little dropper top a little. So you could make a much bigger diffuser balm in here, but this is like an ounce. So you would be putting a lot of oil in here. I did a big pumpkin spice diffuser balm for over the holidays, but that lasted me from, like October, November, December. But for a small little diffuser balm, 5 ml is great. This one is going to use Citrus Fresh, Stress Away, and Pan Away. So all oils from our starter kit. Citrus Fresh, you're going to do 25 drops. So it's going to take a minute. So we can all stare at each other and drop out 25 drops of oil. The good thing is Citrus Fresh drops pretty fast.
I think we need music. Some oil dropping music.
You're on it.
Yeah, sure. Love it.
All right, that was 25 about. Yeah, Citrus Fresh drops fast. I put it in a capsule every day. So I like that one because my EndoFlex, which I also drop into a capsule every day, slow. Takes a lot of time. All right, so the second one is Stress Away. And this is going to be 20 drops of Stress Away. And I love this because I just got a whole bunch of this for free. So I'm doing Stress Away in everything. I want to make some Stress Away soap.
How many Stress Away?
20.
I haven't done soap in a while, and I was thinking about it, and then you did that post, and I was like, oh, I totally want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy. It's just
It is. My family, so we don't
silly
use
easy.
like traditional soap, and my husband has started getting this one that he thinks it's okay, and I'm like, it is so strong. Mom, I can't wear that. I can't use that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just need to go back to. And then I've boycotted some stores because I'm boycotting some stores, and so I'm like, gosh, I need some soap.
Yeah, but then you have to
And
like
so-
find it.
Right. And then make sure it's okay. So I'm like, I'm going back to making my own soap because it
Yeah.
smells so good.
You should do it. All right, so we've got 25 Citrus Fresh, 20 Stress Away. So those oils, that Citrus Fresh blend, that's all your citrus oils, a little bit of spearmint, really uplifting, refreshing. Your Stress Away, calming, relaxing. You've got that vanilla, the lime, the lavender, the cedar wood, chill out. Now we're going to add Pan Away. And I will tell you, this is not your best use of Pan Away. It just isn't. Your best use of Pan Away is on your body. But sometimes it's fun to do fun things, and making a diffuser balm is fun. So we are going to put our Pan Away in our diffuser balm, and it's going to smell amazing, but it would do you better on your skin. I'm just saying. But we're only going to use 15 drops, so that's okay. And this is a fresh bottle.
And I was just going to say, if you haven't done Stress Away and Pan Away, it smells like a root beer float, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it
So-
smells so good together.
It's going to be amazing.
It smells good. So we're only going to do 15 of the Pan Away. All right, so now you've got this blend of blends that is going to smell like candy hearts in your diffuser. So get that pumping. Your house is going to smell amazing. Super seasonal or anytime. Oh yeah, that's good. So you can, put your reducer cap back on so you don't dump it. Put your lid on. You can label these, with all your cute little like Cricut labels and all that stuff. But one little tip, I don't know if you guys realize it, but with the 5 ml bottles, a regular, I don't know if you can tell, just a regular address label, like Avery address label, fits perfectly, wraps right around it just perfectly. So you can always like write whatever's on there, wrap it around, and you're good to go. Real low tech. So there is your diffuser bomb. I can't wait to go put that in my diffuser. All right. Now
That was
Wendy's
the-
got, what's that?
That was the 3 oils, correct? Because my granddaughter.
Yeah, just the 3 oils, just the Citrus Fresh, the Stress Away, and the Pan Away. 25, 20, 15. And you can always, like I said, you could like extrapolate that out if you wanted to make a bigger quantity. But I'm telling you, if you're making a bigger quantity, just swap out that Pan Away. Use plain wintergreen or something else. Just the Pan Away itself is like too valuable.
Just oils. You didn't add anything else to it, right? No.
Nope. Yeah, you're not going to add anything else to it because you're just going to then add this to your diffuser. So it's just like you were dropping oils into your diffuser. So no carrier or anything like that. It's just straight oil in there. All right, I'm going to kick it over to Wendy, who's got a super luxurious recipe to share with us.
Yes. So we're gonna make a salt scrub or a body scrub, and we're gonna use pink Himalayan salt, and this one calls for coconut oil, you guys, and I'm actually allergic to coconut oil, so I never use it, but that's okay. I'm the queen of like improvising on everything, and so I'm actually going to use some olive oil. I prefer that if I'm doing a scrub over. I usually use grapeseed oil, but olive oil is a little bit more I don't know, it's more moisturizing and it's a bit thicker. So even though it rinses off great, it leaves your skin feeling amazing. So I use that whenever I'm doing any salt or sugar scrubs, I use olive oil. So use what you have on hand. Don't go out of your way to do some of this stuff, you guys, because it's just fun. And yeah, don't go out of your way. Okay, so we're doing salt and oil, super simple. And then there is original recipe calls for rose, but I don't have rose right now that I'm going to use. So there's some other that we can use that are great for our skin. So ylang is really great for smelling, for balancing our emotions and such. So this is a great one to treat yourself with. You could use that. You could also, I have patchouli here because I mixed the ylang and patchouli because Vanessa was like mentioning that mix and I've never mixed it, and I love patchouli, so I put patchouli on everything. Anyhow, I also have joy here. So joy is always a great one to treat yourself with too. It's uplifting. I put a drop of that on my heart every day to be joyful with a lot of people I'm around. Okay. And then tonight I'm actually going to use geranium. Geranium's really good for our skin. And so I love using geranium. So that's what I'm going to use tonight. So you can use your salt scrub however you like. All right. So we're just going to do super easy peasy. So I buy my pink Himalayan salt from Costco, you guys. Pink Himalayan salt is so amazing. Sorry, my husband just got home. Is so amazing for our skin. It's full of, I want to say it's 28. I was around numbers all day today talking to kids about birds today and how many feathers each bird has. So I'm going to be off on my numbers here, but it's either 28 or 70 different minerals within Himalayan salt that are amazing, you guys. So if you ever like we did a thing not too long ago, a class, and we were talking about Epsom salts, and for your health, like if you ever do an Epsom salt bath, swap out some of your Himalayan salt or swap out some of your Epsom salt for your Himalayan, because the mineral, it's going to bombard your body and it's amazing. All of our bodies are all deficient in minerals, right? We could all use them. And so we get that from these amazing, from the Himalayan pink salt. And it's just really good for your body, and it helps detox us, and it's really great. You should have this like in a drink every day too, because those minerals getting into your body needs all those minerals. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add my oil first to it. So I'm going to put about 4 drops in here. Geranium is pretty strong. So depending on how you like yours, if you like it strong, if you don't, you can also do a mix of like geranium and ylang ylang, depending on how florally you are. I'm not a real super florally girl, and I'm not a huge fan of ylang ylang. I use it because I know it's good for me, but I'm not like, I wouldn't be like, ooh, that's my choice. Patchouli's my choice, right?
Yeah,
So
in your mouth.
I know. I did a post. Did you guys see what I did last week? My husband just said, yeah, in your mouth. So I always have patchouli at my desk,
Yum, yum.
and I have daiji's too. And I was like in a rush, and I just saw the red out of my hand, the corner of my eye, and I put it in, and I was like, oh, what is that? It was different. It was very different. But patchouli is actually really good for your tummy too, so it worked out. All right, so then I'm just going to do a tablespoon of oil. Now, whenever you're doing the oil, I've found that I'm usually try to go a little light on my oil when I'm doing a salt scrub, because sometimes it can be a little bit much. So then you're just going to mix it together, and it comes together real nice. Oh, and it smells really nice too, you guys. All right, so you can see it comes out to like a nice consistency. It'll hold up in your hand to do a scrub. And then I'm just going to put it in a cute little 4-ounce jar. This would be a great gift to give to teachers, right? If you guys have any kids school aged. And then I'm just going to pop a top on here. Sorry. And then it's ready to use. You know, I just pop this under my sink in my bathroom, or even I like having it in my kitchen as well. So scrubs are so amazing, you guys. I love having a scrub. I do a scrub with lemon and rosemary, and I have it in my kitchen. So whenever you have like nasty, like if you've like done garlic and onions on I use wood bamboo boards. If it stinks really bad, you can always take that and rub it on your board. And while it's sitting there, you can rub your hands. And so you both come out smelling pretty stinking good. Just saying. All right. And not all oniony. So they're really good for you guys. So use your scrubs and give them away as gifts, because people would love those, especially teachers, because it'll help them de-stress. Just saying.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Wendy. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording since we made all of our goodies.